Welcome. It's still Good Morning Anambra, and we are looking at university education as President Buhari directs Minister of Education to end the ongoing ASUU strike. Everybody in the country and beyond this nation knows that over 5 months, our students have been at home on strike doing nothing. And so this morning we deem it necessary to look at this issue because 2 days ago the president came up and gave the ASUU ultimatum, 2 weeks ultimatum to end strike. But on paper this morning there are a lot of contradictory issues. This one saying they've not given me ultimatum. The other one saying is a lie. The Labour leader saying the Labour president, Minister of Labour saying that it's not true that they've been asked to hands off negotiations with ASUU, and a lot of other stories. On the show this morning, let's look at the issue. What's the hope or the future of our children, what the parents are going through recently, even the teachers in the universities, what they are passing through as the ASUU strike has, lasted for 5 months plus. In the studio this morning, we have Professor Dennis Aribodo, who is an educationist. Good to have you in the studio.
Good morning.
All right, I also have Dr. Dennis Ekemezi, a civil society activist, and you're also a father. You're welcome to the studio.
Yes, white parent Dennis.
What a coincidence, not a coincidence.
It's my pleasure being here today with my Dennis, younger brother.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, let me begin with you, Aribodo. You are an educationist, and you are in the university environment.
I'm an academic.
Yes, over 5 months now. Could you let us, how does it feel, being out of job, so to speak, for the past 5 months?
We are not happy. No lecturer is happy because we enjoy our job. It is like a passion, it's like a call. We like what we do, bringing up the future generation of Nigeria to be able to face the challenges that will come to them tomorrow. It's really unfortunate that this strike, which started as a warning strike on February 14, 2022, was allowed to linger up to today, which is over 5 months. You see, when ASUU declared the strike, it called it 1 month warning strike. The idea was that within 1 month at most, a responsible government will apprehend all the situations, all the challenges, and address it. But it is a tradition here that whenever there is a strike, government thinks that they shouldn't care. But they don't know that it takes so much for a strike to be declared. You don't just wake up and declare strike. Before this strike, there were several interventions, several meetings, several letters trying to appeal to authorities and interest groups. Even the Interreligious Council, Sultan of Sokoto and the Khan president, all of them tried to intervene, but the insincerity on the part of government frustrated all these things. And it's a pity that this is happening because the interests of those political leaders are not in this country. Let me put it that way. Because if their interest is in this country and their children on campuses in Nigeria, there's no way this strike will last beyond 2 weeks. It's not possible. Look at what happened in the aviation sector. They threatened within 2 days, because all of them use the airport. They don't go on the road. They resolve the matter. Now, when it comes to what builds a nation, education, without education, we can't be here. Without education, people cannot behave well. Without education, security will always be a problem. It's not only university, both primary and secondary. It is a crisis situation. So for us, it has not been easy, particularly when this strike was not just called at the pleasure of ASUU. it was a strike that was forced on ASUU. Because in 2021, there was an agreement. In 2020, there was an agreement. But those agreements were all failed by the government. So for us, it's not been easy. Everybody knows that no lecturer is receiving any salary in federal universities. So, but they think we will die. But we are serving a living God who will not die because we are fighting a just cause.
Okay, you actually said, there's something you said I wanted to ask, but I think you've answered it actually, that the strike. Okay, there's something you said, but let's leave it there. We'll get back to that. Now, Dennis Ekemezie, Dennis Square. Now, you are a father. You are an activist. You feel the pulse of, because you work with people in localities or communities, let me put it that way. What's your take, or how do you see this strike that has been on for the past 5 months and still counting?
Well, I think your question and very comprehensive if you follow it analytically. Yes, I have words in the university, federal universities, because some state universities are not joining them, like Anambra State University, but we pay much more than we are paying in the federal institutions. Strike in Nigeria at the university level is not a new thing. I grew up in the university community. I witnessed Ali Must Go, and that one was also a deadly one. I witnessed Ango Must Go when I was doing my master's degree, and this one is more of a pathetic story, in the sense that after COVID, most of our words lost here, being in the university or tertiary institution because of the, COVID, yes, lockdown. And then when the key was, the door was opened again and they went back to school, they said we must pay for the accommodation they have not used. And we did it, and then from our purse, because it was leakages. Then also you look at when at home environment, then you see that it's all of them. And it's not something that I have planned that, myself and maybe the ones remaining at home will manage one bag of rice if these people come back, then, or this. So you are planning now is distorted or put in a disarray. Also, the society is not fair again because of in some areas you hear of instant cultism. Then you'll be able to manage your children at home, the relationship, going out and this thing, so that they will not encounter such a problem. Then what of those undergraduates also? Like I have one that's supposed to have been to have finished and maybe go for his our National Youth Service Corps. He has not done so. And the morale is dwindling. Most of them are now taking other means of surviving. I have one who said, "Daddy, I cannot stay again. Let me venture into farming." The other day we went somewhere, he introduced himself as a farmer, and people started laughing. He said, "Yes, I'm now a farmer because you people refused that we should go back to school." The other one went into catering. So that she will be getting some means of livelihood. And what of those people, some of them that could not manage themselves, and then some of them will go into criminality, prostitution, armed robbery, cultism. So you can now see that it is appearing that this older generation are not fair enough to younger generation. And it becomes to part of what we said earlier, that those who had opportunity in the past will not allow the younger ones to experience such opportunities they had. And then you see now on equilibrium of, social sharing of social values. What do you mean by social values? By social surplus, what's supposed to be appropriated within the society, and then if it goes into politics. Politics is what he who gets what, when, and how. So you find out that our social environment where education is situated is being unnecessarily politicized. And I heard you saying that the president gave a fiat, and then the minister will tell you a different thing. Yes, I always say, Kuchasi is not Meshasi. What the president should have done is to put it all right in black and white. If he has not done so, let him do so that they will know. And my father told me that in police palace, that evidence is a person where matter done, not by telling. So he must produce the document.
Okay, now, when Dennis was actually analyzing
Dennis.
this...
Dennis with double N.
He actually said that he grew up in a school environment, so that strike is not something that started today.
I think he was a strong, maybe you activist.
Okay, now,
in the late 70s.
as a lecturer in the university, you know, what actually, or what are the things ASUU has been fighting for over these years?
It has been the same story since 1978. When ASUU came to be transited from University Teachers Association. It has been the same story. Funding for education, conditions of service, university autonomy, and other matters. 4 things. From 78 to Shagari to Basanjo, to Buhari, because 78 is Shagari, to Basanjo, to Buhari, to Babangida, to Abacha, to Abu Salami, up to today. So you now see that it appears there is this culture of not wanting Nigerians to rise up by the political elite. Maybe it's a conspiracy against the masses.
How?
Yes, because if the masses are given quality, functional education, they will resist what they're doing. And what on ye go get take nonsense? You only go raise when what is called functional education, those people in power can be in power today. So what ASUU is fighting is that university education should be properly funded. What if even in the Constitution, they say that education should be free. They only say at a point, as long as it can be afforded. When can it be afforded? It's not a matter of priority. Government is looking for a way to say that students will start paying as much as 500,000 naira, 1 million naira in Nigeria for school fees. That was what the former chairman of the negotiation committee, Babalakin, was proposing from government. That was in 2017. And that's who said, Nigerian parents, you want them to pay this thing. What is their minimum wage? 30,000 naira. Then, if you have 2 or 3 children in university, the person will go and commit suicide. That there is money to fund the education. And we told them where these monies are. There was a committee of government and ASUU, and we told them these are where you get the money. Just like under Bangida, Bangida said there was no money to fund education. We told him there is what is called education tax. And that's how education tax fund came to be, ETF. Before the law was meant to now become tertiary education trust fund. ASUU brought the idea. Yes, it was a brainchild of ASUU under Bangida's administration. So we don't just say there is a problem. We prefer solution. Today, under Goodluck Jonathan, they brought in a payment platform under Okoji Iweala called IPeace. ASUU said this thing is against the interests of Nigeria and the Nigerians, because number one is that IPeace cannot run in a university environment. Each university is like a country of its own. It's autonomous. Every university is like a country. And it's not a civil service. Universities are not a civil service. So a vice chancellor or an administration of a university may go for a conference outside the country, and someone bright brain that if you are trusting that into a university to push up the university. You now tell the person to go and start getting permission from head of service, from academia, to run a university. And to solve that, what else we told them? We can give you something better at no cost to you. And we developed university transparency and accountability solutions, which we offered because the challenge was we offered it. That solution has been subject to several tests. The latest test, it was scored 99.3%. Why won't you accept what's called 99.3%? Why won't you? The IPs that they have been propagating and using was not subject to any test in Nigeria because it was made in Washington. They thought that whatever comes from Obodo Yibo is excellent. Go and ask federal workers what they are passing through, including police and soldiers with IPs. You don't know your salary. Today you get 1 naira, tomorrow you get 80 kobo. That is the situation. And we say we cannot continue in that one. When you have problem with IPs, you have to go to Abuja at your own expense.
To go and resolve it.
To go and resolve it. What has never, I've been in the university system since 1999 as academic staff. What has never happened? So how can the lecturer concentrate and deliver on the mandate of the university? Is it the issue of conditions of service? In 2009, when the agreement was signed then under Yaradua, the professor's salary is an equivalent of $3,000 in 2009 when the agreement was signed. That is the same salary that has been there for the past 14 years with all the erosion of value of the naira. The same salary. As we talk today, professor's salary is less than $700. And you want this man to do magic.
Okay, now we appreciate what you are fighting for. But this strike that keeps coming up now and then, on the minds of an average Nigerian, the person might be like, the strike you went to the first time, what happened? Why is it that your demands were not met and you decided to start school? And each time you go on strike, each time you come back, each time, don't you think, I don't know, why is it that they did not meet your demands and you had to come back and start school? It has been happening.
See, we are human beings. We are a union that is responsible in as much as we are an intellectual union. Sometimes the society puts so much pressure on you to the extent that once an agreement is signed, because the government will come and sign a negotiate agreement with you, have a memorandum of understanding with you. The latest one was last year, early last year. And they will have timelines to do those things. Those timelines will pass, they won't do anything. You write them later, they ignore you. You go on advocacy, they ignore you. Until you declare that strike, that's when they will start reacting. So how is that our fault? And that's why we say that we want to end strike. We don't want to suspend strike again. This strike, even if it lasts 1 year or 2 years, we are prepared. Because we want this to be the end of strike in the university system.
All right, the program is Good Morning Anambra University Education, as President Muhammadu Buhari directs Minister of Education to end the ongoing ASUU strike. We take a short break here. Let's feel the pulse of the masses. We'll be right back.
Both parties should compromise a little. I think what ASUU is demanding is much, and federal government also, they are not trying. This is now as a result of what has been, over some years now. They're supposed to have fulfilled. So what I believe that should stop this ongoing strike is the government should do what they're supposed to do first, while ASUU as a body should compromise a little over their demand.
Best thing is for government to resolve the problem ASUU is having, that is to meet their demand. Actually, the situation is no more okay. The government should know what to do and do it at a faster rate, no delay, no much delay, because delay is dangerous. They actually know what they're supposed to do.
The best thing is let government just sit down and meet the demands. After ASUU, they are not asking for heaven and earth. They are not asking for what the government cannot give. They are simply asking for what is right, to make the education sector, be like other nations. It's just that I can't really tell why the government cannot meet that demand. Please, I believe that they can do it if they are really serious to do it. ASUU and government, especially government, let them sit down and ratify this problem once and for all. Because very soon, if they don't do anything, I'm afraid things will get worse.
I just feel they should meet up to their demand and everybody should just go back to school, because me, I'm tired. Because when I'm seeing it, I will just come off for this country. I will just leave the country because it's just very tiring, and sitting at home doing all the work in the house. Apart from that, people that are meant to graduate are not yet graduated. That's like wasting, and everybody have plans for their life, how they want it to be. So now this is more like this delaying how everything is going to be. And they should just know what they are doing and meet an agreement, and they should just pay the money. Even if they can't complete the money, at least they should keep something and tell us to go back to school.
The best thing is just for government to settle ASUU. Let government just give us whatever they ask for. Then we are okay. I think if they should do that, everything will be all right.
All right, the people have said their minds. Most of them are of the opinion that government should meet the demands of ASUU in order to resolve this ASUU strike. Now, according to the ASUU president, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, on an interview on Channels 2 days ago, there's something he said that made my heart to bleed, that when he was in school, they used to have foreign lecturers, that some of them he mentioned the nations, different countries of this world come to Nigeria to lecture. But today, most of Nigerian lecturers are leaving and none is coming back. So with what is, and I know that this is as a result of ASUU strike that has been lingering over the years, what effect do you think this will have on university education in the country?
Well, I think I'm in support of what he said. I enjoyed it. Because I did high school, my part 1, part 2, we were taught by professors. Wilmot, Inikori, that's most of them from Bangura, from foreign countries. And we enjoyed it because we were able to cultivate a relationship that is even lasting till today. And to put it in what the question asked me, is it not showing that the decay will be everlasting? For instance, we've seen what a young lady said. She will find a way and go out of this country. It's just like somebody that is a family that was kidnapped, the mother, the father, the daughter, and both of them were raped on different angles. And they vowed not to come back to this country again. And it's just to ally to it, because that one is social rape. You are raping those people, the young ones, socially, alienating them. And how do you think that after alienating them, they will not agree that this is my country? And then you will force them to say national anthem, Nigeria. It's part of it. And the pathetic side of it is that most of these people that are in power, and he said it, this political, socio-economic elite that are causing this class stratification, their children are not in this country. I was ashamed the other time. I was here, newspaper review, and saw a governor proudly standing with his wife and children and friends that my child is graduating. Is it Cyprus? Cyprus? Do you think of going off to such? What do you think about those universities? And you can now see where our children are. Suffering from where there's also more worse situation than in Nigeria. So please, if this our discussion will be escalated to go further, The federal government, there was a time I was telling my last child that I don't have money. He said, Daddy, if you don't have money, go to the bank and get money. Federal government has money to pay. But that our problem is the political will. What is the salary of a senator? What is the salary of a take-home of members of House of...
because according to the president, he also talked about the salary that professors earn in our universities, that a professor does not earn up to 400,000. Is that true?
Yes, now I can show you my pay slip. It's in my phone.
Okay.
And I pay a tax of almost 70,000 naira.
Okay.
I pay a tax on my salary of almost 70,000. Academic professor. So you see, it's just that people feel that, hey, it's in the university, is this? There is nothing there. It is worse with even the younger colleagues. It is worse. So, and there is no way you can even attract the best brains, even from Nigerians, not to talk of those from outside this country, into such a system. So I think the battle we are fighting is an existential battle for the university education in Nigeria. And if it collapses, let Nigerians be prepared for a replication of what we have currently in our public primary and secondary schools. That is the only thing that will happen. But by God's grace, it cannot happen.
Okay. Now, the president has, this ultimatum actually came 2 days ago that the president gave the minister order for the strike to end, gave them 2 weeks. Now, according to today's Daily Sun newspaper, ASUU says, ASUU, federal government declares NLC's proposed solidarity protest illegal. Now, it says aviation workers threat to join strike, security risk. Now, presidency denies giving Adamu 2 weeks to end strike. Ngige refutes alleged Buhari's order to hands off negotiation. With all this, I don't know, do we call this is a twist to the issue earlier raised by the president that they should end strike by 2 weeks? So where do we stand now?
I think the president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, is just passing the buck. In 2013, it got to a stage, that was under Goodluck Jonathan, 6-month strike. Today is not about political party, they're the same. It got to a stage that Goodluck now had to, on his own, sit down on the negotiation table with the union and his government. That negotiation lasted for 13 hours. 13 hours to be able to find a solution. So Buhari is just passing the buck. You had a meeting with the key functions of a government that will solve the problem. A report has been produced by a committee set up by your government, and you are now saying that you are giving extra 2 weeks. A report has been produced. You set up this committee. Before you set up this Nimi Breeze committee, there was a committee that you set up as a government, headed by Professor Munzali Jibril, a former NU Executive Secretary, who produced a report as early as May last year. May last year. That report up to today was not looked at. Government set up that committee. It took a strike of February 14 for a new committee to be set up to go and renegotiate Munzali Jibril's report. And initially, as we said, we are not going to continue that. It's just a waste of time. But on second thought and second appeal, not to be seen as not being interested in dialogue, we went. And by June 16, there was an agreement. All that requires is Minister of Education or government representative, take this to your principal, which is the federal government, and let them look at it. If they're okay by it, let us take to our own principal, who is our members. And if okay by it, you come and sign. From June 16 to today is 21st July, nothing took place. Nothing. So that tells you that tells you that the level of priority we give to education. And if you don't get the education right, nothing will work. Go and construct good road tomorrow. Give it 6 months, it will spoil. Train a driver tomorrow, he will go there and be crashing people. Without good education, nothing will work. So until we accord the value we should accord to education, starting with the teachers, whether primary, secondary, and tertiary, we must give them adequate motivation. Because a lecturer shouldn't be thinking of other means of survival.
Which is what we see here now in
Yes, because
some of our secondary schools and
because
universities.
a lecturer should be concentrated because it's a knowledge industry. So that you can, even those students that are looking at you as lecturers will look at you and find confidence. Today, our students don't see confidence in us because they can even pay your salary. Yes, you see a lecturer going to contest House of Assembly, government chairman. Why should lecturer do that? In the past, apart from the Chief Justice of Nigeria, in Nigeria in the 60s, nobody earns more than a professor. Can't check the history. But gradually, they reduce it that even a professor will not be proud to go and be a PA or SA to one politician. Because
to rig the election of the politician.
Because what the man pays him is 2 or 3 times what the university or government pays him. And you expect the country to move. Cannot move.
Okay, now, I don't know, this issue of a strike and the ultimatum by the president for the minister to end this ASUU strike in 2 weeks. Do you see this a possibility?
Well, I think with my knowledge of public administration, policy making and implementation, and then as I retired in administration, I said it earlier, Kuchasin is not Mechasin. And in police palace, I said what my father told me as a retired police officer, that evidence is a person where matter done, not by telling. And the other side of a person, so there must be evidence. Government directives are done on paper. It's a paperwork. Yes, presidential fiat, I've said it, is a pronouncement. Then once it's a pronouncement, what will happen? The secretary to the state government or his chief of staff, who is also a professor, he taught me, of a very high caliber, should do what? Implement it. Copy the person. Minister, this is your own, this is your own. Then, I no agree. It's not true, it's not true. Evidence. Person where matter done, not by telling. So the president, as we said earlier, and we agreed, that this is mere a political talk. Political will is not there. So if the political will is not there, will you give what you don't have? And that's why this allegation and this denial among the so-called political elites. And what we call in political science, elites conspiracy. To do what? To dehumanize the middle class, of which we know there's no longer a middle class in Nigeria. You know that. You, at your level, you are no longer a middle class because your salary alone cannot afford a 2 days good meal. Good meal, not even meal. Because what we give you is what you eat to survive and not what you eat to live. And these are the irony we are finding ourselves. More importantly, the class stratification that is going on in Nigeria will be more dangerous, not even dangerous. It's more dangerous than what we are witnessing. Because after ostracizing the middle class, the former governor of Anambra said it, the society you abuse today will take vengeance on you. And that is what we are witnessing.
Okay, now I know that this, when we were beginning, you said you people are not happy that you're sitting at home. And from your president, he also said that lecturers are ready to go back to classroom, that everything is set, left for the government to append what they've already agreed on. And now, do you see this happening in the shortest possible time for students to go back to classroom? And if not, what effect do you think this will have on the future of education in Nigeria?
Talking from experience, I don't see it happening. This is a strike that commenced on 14th February. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and we're going to the 6th month. 2 days ago, the president, according to media, gave a directive. Today, Minister of Education, Minister of Health are quarreling. It's not true, it's not true, it's not true. And you're telling me that it will end. It is not in our, we are not the one holding this strike. if government today, because this ASUU president said that 2 days is enough to resolve this matter if government is sincere. Just 48 hours is enough because the agreement has been reached. The payment platform has been tested, that of ASUU, that of other unions, and that of IPs. Let them show us the result of IPs. Let us see. Let's see the result of it. So, unless and until government decides to be sincere with the Nigerian masses, and unless and until Nigerian masses stand up for their right, as NLC is trying to mobilize with other civil society groups, unless that happens, the type of government we have in this country, whether it is APC or PDP or RDP, they will never do anything without a struggle.
And the future of education?
Of course, you can't give what you don't have. Better soup na money make am. It was Ojukwu who said that no society gets a leader it desires. You get a leader that you deserve. If you want a good leader, you work for it. Society has to rise up and work for a good leader. And I'm happy Nigerians are waking up. Everybody is waking up. Students are waking up. Market women are waking up. Workers are waking up. So that is a message to the political elite that is no longer business as usual.
All right, we'd like to thank you so much, Professor Dennis Aribodo, an educationist. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you, Dr. Dennis Ekeme, the civil society activist. Thanks for coming.
Well, thank you for putting us in a hot seat like this.
That's just about it on the Good Morning Anambra show today. Thank you so much for being a part of it. My name is Nonya Mokoye. Bye for now.